My name's Kevin Martin. I'm here again with the Lake Erie Regional Grape Program. I have here with me today Scott Ebert. He's our technician. He does some work for us in the field, and we've got some toys with us too. We are here, we're going to touch a little bit on what we call our loaner sensor program. We have a SCRI project that if you've listened to some of our other videos, you've probably heard about. One of the goals of that project is to get some sensor technology in the hands of growers and to familiarize our growers with that technology. So, Scott, what am I looking at here?
Right here you have the GeoScout X. This is our newer data logger for NDVI sensing. And what this is the data logger that collects all the information, and then we can take that information and give it to our GIS specialists who can then make maps for you.
So this is a data logger. So basically what you're saying is it takes sensor data and just logs it for you, records it, and
It
saves
collects
it.
all the information onto an SD card, which then Rian, our GIS specialist, can then take all that information and make pretty maps for you.
And this is primarily what sensor the sensor we are using. This one right here is a crop circle, but what you really need to know is that it's an NDVI sensor, normalized differential vegetative index, and that's primarily what we're using in Concord vineyards for our sensor technology work. So that data logger that Scott referenced is recording data from this particular sensor unit. And this one that you're looking at is something you can borrow from the extension program here in the Lake Erie region, and we can, and I say we, but Scott will go out and install that on your tractor, and we will also process that data for you. So, Scott, if I'm a grower and I want to take a look at this to get maps made by extension, what do I do to go about getting this loaner sensor onto my tractor?
Well, you can simply give us a call at 716-792-2800 and ask for Scott and talk about loaner sensors. I'll simply put you on a list. We have a list building right now. We'll be giving out the sensors about 48 to 72 hours to scan whatever vineyards you'd like to do. And I would go out and at that set time, take a look at your tractor and hook that up. This data logger will go inside the cab. With this brand new data logger, we used to have an older one that had more wires and a GPS, external GPS puck that would go on top of your tractor. It seemed a little bit more, just too much going on there for the tractor, so we had problems with power cutting out and GPS not working right. With this newer one, the GPS is internal and takes less cords. We have it hardwired to the battery of the tractor, and then we just have the cords that go to the sensors that are usually hooked. We found good luck with hooking them with ram mount claws to the front weights of a tractor, and just as the farmer's spraying his vineyards, he can be scanning his vineyards at the same time.
So right now we are limited with where we're implementing these loaner sensors to our counties in Western New York, but we are doing some research in other areas so that this technology will be available, hopefully nationwide. In some of those other areas, they'll probably have to purchase those sensors themselves. Our growers eventually will probably be doing the same thing. And but this does offer you an opportunity to familiarize yourself with some of the technology and to see what that technology offers you in your vineyard management. Scott touched a little bit on the wires and what is involved there. And basically what you're looking at is a power wire and a data wire. And that's it at this point, since the GPS is internal to the data logger now. That did raise the cost of these sensors and data logger package a little bit. There are other options for growers, but certainly for a loaner sensor, this probably makes more sense. One of the big problems we've had with reliability of loaner sensors is wires, because you're installing it, you're taking it in and out a lot, so those wires tend to wear a lot faster. I think there are some other options out there for grape growers if they don't necessarily want to use this technology. Right now, in terms of cost, they are all pretty similar. They're all between about $5,000 and $7,000 for the entire package, depending on what package you go with. Some growers are actually implementing these sensors without buying a package. They'll buy the sensor like this, And some of these, and if you buy the right sensor, and you do need to, I think, sort of purchase these things as a unit in some sense. But your GPS field computers that some of our historical providers offer, so those would be like Ag Leader and John Deere. They also use NDVI sensors in corn, so they're familiar with the technology and they can hook up to tractor computers. They'll be able to provide more robust data in real time. It's probably not good enough to make management decisions with, but you will pay a premium for that technology because they are providing real-time data. You'll also be able to use those field computers for other things if that's something your operation is interested in. So we've seen growers going both ways, but to get your feet wet, you can borrow it for free, and you can also start using the data for free, and then you can decide what direction you want to go in when you make this investment. I think that's about all we have for today. I want to thank Scott for joining us, and thank you for taking the time to take a look at our video. And if you have any questions, the comment section is always available down below. Please feel free to ask us a question. We'll check back in, maybe make another video, or you can contact us directly. Thanks a lot.